Just making sure we get on live. I'm hoping that there's some people to join us today to talk about my posts from this week. So just for those of you that don't know, I'm Stephanie Kennedy, and this is
Dawn Silver.
And we are on both Facebook Live and Instagram Live. And then I had a thought. I'm going to turn my Instagram Live videos into Instagram TV.
What is that?
It's like a new, have you go on and watch Instagram TV?
No.
So if you go on your...
Oh, crap. Just go straight down. Everybody's just straight down.
You all now know the password.
It's okay. I just want my kids to know.
To Dawn's phone. So if you go on to Instagram,
yeah, you
can, I don't know if all of you people know this.
You're not pressing the button. You're too low.
If you go onto your home screen, there's a little orange button up at the top with a little TV in it.
Oh, no.
And you press it, and you get to your Instagram TV channels. So it's kind of like a mix between YouTube and it's kind of like a mix between YouTube and Instagram and Facebook Live. Like, so it's a channel.
Okay.
But I figure it's a channel that not a lot of people are on, so it might be a good place to start.
Yes.
So I'm going to start posting these videos into our Instagram channel.
So we only see TV of the people that we follow that do.
I think you can search though, and
okay.
Things will come. And then I think there's recommended, just like in your Instagram.
Yeah.
You ever go into the recommended?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so in there as well, you can see stuff there too.
Hey, Bella.
That's Bella. Aren't you away on vacation somewhere?
Yes, I was going to say she's on vacation.
So today we're going to talk a little bit about my blog posts from this week. So the first one, it is that time of year. I know that there's lots of you that live in the States.
Right.
And I don't know if anywhere else in Canada has gone back to school yet or not. Your kids are already back to school, but our kids are not. We go back to school always the Tuesday after Labor Day. So we have a holiday up in Canada the first Monday of September.
I think it's a holiday in the States as well.
It's not called Labor Day, though.
No, it might be. I have no idea, actually. Sorry.
Okay, so we don't go back to school till the Monday, till the Tuesday.
12 days from now.
Yes.
Do countdown.
So Dawn's very excited, I think.
Well, yes and no.
You're allowed to be excited. You're allowed to be stressed out and the craziness of having 3 children running around your house all day long.
Right. I figured this is week 8 of summer, because I know next week is week 9. And so I'd say at this point, it's taken 8 weeks for me to get done. So I feel like that's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's hard because we stay at home, not stay at home moms. We're work at home moms, I guess, because we have businesses. It does throw a wrench into how much you work and getting your schedule, because we bring the kids to the gym. Right now we have 6 of the 7 kids here jumping around on the trampoline and all that kind of stuff while we come in to do the video and do some work. And
there's programming in the gym.
There's programming. If you hear any children yelling or screaming, they're out having fun. Those are squeals of joy. Yes, they are.
It might be my kids screaming.
Yeah. And so it's back to school time. So I decided to write a post. I have a bunch of friends who have teenagers that are going off to university and college and going to various different places. And I follow somebody on Instagram about getting your teens ready for college and university. And so it prompted me to write a post about the things that your kids should know how to do by the time they're 18.
Yeah.
And so I had 5 different categories that we talked about. So one of them was stuff around the house. Yes. Like, can they do things? And I don't know, even when they're little, I would highly recommend that you start teaching them. So Dawn, what are some of the chores that your kids can do? Are there any?
Oh, yeah, no, they can do things, but whether they do them or not is the other story. No, they can make themselves breakfast, and Riley can actually make lunch, and so can Thomas for that matter. I'm teaching Nate how to use a kettle right now so he can make his own breakfast.
Did you buy one of my fancy kettles?
No, not yet. No, but I actually forgot. But good point. So they can do that. They can tidy up. Riley can vacuum. She can do dishes. Both the 9-year-old and 12-year-old obviously can do the dishwasher. Like, they can load the dishwasher. It might not be great, but
do you have specific chores for each child in your house? So that's something that I would say is a hack that we have at our house, because I talked about in the past that I have a rule that no one's ever allowed to say no to mom. And it was funny. I asked Katie a week ago. I go, "What are like 3 rules that you have in your life?"
Oh.
And one of them was never say no to mom.
Oh, that's a good one.
That was a good one. See, I brainwashed them. So the reason why I did that was because otherwise I felt I might be unfair because there's 4 of them. Like I tend to ask Elizabeth to do.
The oldest to do.
Right. And because she's so lovely and she's so responsible. Right. Like I feel like I give her more responsibility than I do maybe Nick or Zach. And so I wanted to give everybody something that they were responsible for. And it's not really hard. So like Elizabeth is a dishwasher. So regardless, I never empty the dishwasher really. Like that's her job. I mean, she's away a lot this summer, so Nick ended up having to do it or whoever I asked. Yeah. But that's her job. Zach's his laundry, so he has to help me like transfer the laundry or to put the load in, take the load out.
My kids can't reach the dryer, so that's.
Oh, I have a
so that's a bad thing about having the stackables is they can't reach, and I'm not gonna get them a stool to put. Like it's too much work.
It'd be a fun adventure.
Oh, yes.
So here's his laundry. Katie's a cat, although she's not very good at it. And so cats often starve, but that's her job is to feed the cats. Because she was little when I started this. So I haven't changed them since then.
Rotated.
And then Nick, there you go. See, what does he do? What do you do, Nick? He was supposed to be watering the plants. He didn't do a very good job. The plants all died. Oh. And so he just has to do whatever I tell him to do.
Well, that's my problem with chores, is that they're great in theory, but if I don't follow up that they've been done, then...
Well, that's what I mean. It's not really so much...
terrible about following up.
Right, but it's not so much that it's like they just do it when you ask. So I always ask Zach to help with laundry.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
It's not really his chore, like, to make sure that my laundry gets done.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's in charge of their own laundry in my house. Like, Elizabeth does her own laundry. Okay. Everybody does their own laundry. The boys do their own laundry. I just do the laundry basket that's in my bathroom. Yeah. Which is Chris, myself, and Katie's stuff. I do that, but even then, I will just take it, throw it down. I have like a balcony, so I can like throw my clothes down into the living room. So nice. And so I'll throw them down, and I'll say, Zach, can you load the laundry and turn it on? And then he'll load the laundry. There's another hack, new from when our parents were young, because I'm pretty old. We wash, most of you probably all wash your clothes in cold water, correct?
No.
You don't, but all the soap is cold water soap.
Yeah, I'm allergic to some soaps, and so I find that when I do the cold water, I get super itchy.
Okay, so not her, but for the rest of you that don't wash your clothes in hot water, if you wash your clothes in cold water, you do not have to sort them. I'm going to just throw that out there.
I agree.
I do not sort my clothes. There's no white load. There's no colored loads. There is no towel loads. I mean, towels maybe once in a while because I tend to wash them all at the same time. Yeah. Like I'll go to all the bathrooms, grab all the towels, and then throw them in. Because I wash all my clothes and everybody's clothes in cold water, there's no need to sort. So I literally just grab the pile of clothes and throw them downstairs, and then Zach just loads. So there is no worry about that. Right. And if people have stuff that they have to be careful about, then they're responsible for washing sets. Like Elizabeth has a bunch of blue stuff, or Nike sports bras, things like that. She does her own laundry, and then she puts them out to dry on the banister herself. Yeah. And so by chores, I don't mean like I don't have like a checklist. I don't have like a chore chart or anything like that. The chores are just that I get to ask you. Okay. Elizabeth, you didn't empty the dishwasher today. Go do it. And then she'll go do it. Oh, sorry, Mom. And then she'll go do it. You know, Zach's in charge of laundry. Katie, go feed the cats. Right. Like that kind of stuff. Yeah. Look at Nick. I have nothing for you. We got to find something. We need sweeping. Now that I have no carpets downstairs, the floor needs to be swept all the time.
Vacuums.
Vacuum easier? I'm wondering if
I think it is.
I'm wondering if at the P&E this year they have something fun for my
new. Yes, right. Okay.
Every year we have this big fair in Vancouver called the P&E, and they have like an indoor, what's it called? Like a marketplace. Yeah. And I always go in there and every year.
So it's a seen on TV stuff.
And every year I buy something.
Yes.
So although Nick's hoping I buy a beanbag chair this year, but so I highly recommend that in regards to chores.
Right, give them an assignment.
Everybody has something, and then that way you're not asking the same person. Like, see, you can already tell. I don't ask Nick to do very much. Right. Like, except clean up after himself, I feel like, all the time.
Maybe that's a chore itself.
It is. Okay, so that was that one.
Right. So
I was asking you if you had them doing things by the
they help things when I ask, but I do ask Riley more often than not. Yeah. Just because she is more capable, and then I do. Thomas is starting as well.
Yeah. So that's one tip and trick.
Yeah.
The second thing, it was households. It was house stuff around the house, and then it was appliances.
Mm-hmm.
Do they? And this happens because I'm redoing my kitchen, and so I was thinking about like, do they know how to first of all run the appliances? Like, do they know how to not just load the dishwasher, but like turn it on, put the soap in, know how the components work on the washing machine? When they go to college, do they know how to like which dial, like what everything means on it? Like Zach just knows where to turn it. Like he knows which buttons on our washing machine to use.
But if you got a new washer, would you know how to use
it? I'd have to teach them. Or if you go to the laundromat. I don't know if people in college and university, what it looks like. Do they have like shared laundry facilities, I'm assuming, and they have to pay for it probably. Yeah. So it was that. And then there aren't really any other appliances. I figure most people know how to use a stove.
Well, unless you have a gas stove.
Right. But they don't have gas stoves at university and college.
And then they might rent a house.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And so knowing how to use a gas stove, every time I don't have very many babysitters, but anytime I have somebody new, I make sure I go through the whole about how to use the gas stove because they always have to cook my kids something. Yeah. And they normally don't know how to use the gas stove. No. And so Riley knows how to use it because she can cook on it. Yeah. But I like it does freak me out, but I haven't not taught Thomas yet. Yeah. But even like the other appliances, like a blender or a toaster, like if someone's always made the food for them, they might not know.
Do you have a child that doesn't know how to use a toaster? That would be terrible.
I'm just saying it might happen.
They need to know how to use a toaster.
Yes. Yeah. Microwave, it seems easy, I feel like. Yeah. By the time that they're in college, they would know how to use that. Yeah.
So those are all the appliances. And then it was about, my fear was around, do they know what to do in case something goes wrong? Right. And so one of my things was, especially if they're renting a house, was like the water shut off. Like how many of you know where the water shut off valve is in your house? And do they know, like behind each toilet, there's a water shut off in case the toilet starts to overflow? Or by the sink, do they know where the water turn off valve is? And so those are things, I don't know if everybody knows where those things are, but those are things.
I don't even know if most adults know where they're.
That's what I mean. So those are things that you should know.
Yeah.
And a fuse box.
Yes.
Like, I'm assuming teenagers probably blow fuses because they plug everything into their thing. Although in an apartment or shared housing, I'm not sure how that works, but there should be a fuse box in each quad or something. Yeah. So they should know how to flip the switches and how that all works. And then one reason what prompted one of these things was about the car. So I realized, which is weird, because when we were little, getting our driver's license was like the first thing we did when we were 16.
Absolutely.
And now, because we work with a lot of young women as coaches, driving's not that important to a lot of them.
No, which I guess is good because then they're saving the environment by using the bus.
And SkyTrain, yeah. Like we have a subway system, not really subway, above ground system.
Yeah.
But in regards to their cars, do they have the tools that they need in the car? Do they know how to use jumper cables? Do they know
how to change tire?
Yeah, which I don't think that very many people in the world know how to change a tire.
I don't think so either.
But do they also then have a car road assistance?
Oh, BCA.
Card? Do they know how to call it here? Yeah, it's called BCCA. But do they have some sort of thing that emergency?
Right.
So when you teach your kid how to drive, do they know all that kind of stuff? How to fill up their tires? I know somebody who did not know how to fill up their car with gas, even as an adult, because we live in a city.
Oh, yeah, your city.
Yeah. In the city that I live in, you're not allowed to fill up your own car with gas. There's still people who come and fill up your car with gas. It's a bylaw in the city that is pretty antiquated, and it's been around forever. And so if you drive out of our city, which is like a 10-minute drive out of our city, you have to know how to fill up your car with gas. So something you got to learn. But as teenagers, they may never have driven out of their own city. Like, why they have no reason to go anywhere.
That's crazy.
Until they start going to bars or nightclubs or going downtown for nightlife, right?
Yes.
Or to university, which is off of their city. So that's another one.
And basic maintenance of the car. Like, if you don't have a new car, like, new cars, they give you the schedule, but like getting an oil change. I mean, they don't have to do the oil change, but they have to know that they need to get one.
With a little sticker in the top of the car.
Right. But if it's not a new car, it won't have that.
No, but hopefully at some point somebody told them to go get it.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but you just never know.
Look at, there's so many things that they need to know. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Sorry?
I was going to say, I borrowed a car once, and it was a Honda, and I owned a Volkswagen. I could not figure out how to open up their gas cap, like their gas.
So you didn't know where the little button was?
Yeah, there was a button, but my Volkswagen was just one of those you opened it yourself.
Yeah.
Back in the day. Yeah, and so I had to ask the gas attendant, and he actually didn't know either. So I waited for someone else to show up in a Honda to show it up in the gas, open the gas thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Sharon.
Oh, Sharon's texted us. She should be on here watching.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was appliances and things like that. That was car safety.
One other thing that includes appliances is on the outside of your house. Do they know how to change the light bulb? Do they know how to use a lawnmower? Yeah, if they're renting a house, they might have to do the lawnmower. Even if just as they're getting older, if they haven't learned by the time they go off to college, who's going to teach them how to use a lawnmower? Like, YouTube, yeah. I remember I used to, that's a chore I had to do, is cut my lawn back in the day.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I did too. We had, my brothers and me all mowed the lawn. We had a big yard. It seemed big back when I was little. Small. Now when I go, well, my house isn't there anymore, but when I went by the house, it was much smaller than I remember when you're little, because everything seems so much bigger. And yeah, we mowed the lawn, true fact. So I don't know, but I have turf, so nobody in my house has to mow their lawn anymore. Jeremy mows our lawn. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah. Light bulbs. I was talking to my kids about that. Do they know how to change it with the big? And I told them they go buy themselves one of those big extendable sticks to do the outdoor light bulbs. Oh yes, that's what I use. Yeah. Yep. Okay. So that's outside, inside, all the appliances, all of being able to do all of those things. And then the next thing that I talked about, I'm trying to remember. Was it just adult things? Adult things. So I had a lot of people give me some feedback and ask me some questions or things that they thought people should know how to do. And that was, one of them was around finances. So once you send your child off to college or university, they will get a certain amount of money, right? Like maybe, well, you mean if they have if they have a stipend, like from the university or job, or the parents give them some money, or how do people pay when they live off? They get a job. Did you go away to school? No. I didn't go away to school. No, I lived with my grandmother and went to school. Yeah, and I lived at home through university as well. So I just had a job. And so how do you budget for all of those things, right? So if they get a certain amount, I'm thinking of people who go away that might have a scholarship or have a loan, student loan. Right, or the parents have given them an allowance or something, that they know how to make it last, because once they start eating, like if they don't have a meal plan, or they do have a meal plan, like how to handle that whole issue. Yeah. Hopefully by the time they're of 18 or 19, they know how to do their taxes. Because hopefully they have a bank account. They have a bank account, e-transfers. Yes. Which is the new way of doing things. Yes. Yeah. Credit cards and what a credit card actually is. Don't get a credit card. Make sure you pay off your credit card every month. Yes. Those sorts of things. So all those discussions, which I think in our family comes naturally over the years. So again, if you haven't talked about any of these things with the kids, I think it's maybe time that you do. But I really do think it's never too young. So even with your kids right now that are little, not be shying away from those conversations in front of the kids. And so my children know how much money comes out of our bank account for their RASPs, because I always say we take a lot of money away for you guys. They know how much a mortgage is. They know, they kind of know what we make. They know our income, so that they kind of understand finances. I don't think it needs to be a secret. I'm a big proponent of they're not going to learn unless you let them know these things. Yeah, the flip side to that, though, is that if you are not good with your finances, sharing that with your kids, then if they see you making it month to month, but they can tell that your out is more than you're in, then they're going to think that they can be better with your finances. Well, anyways, the kids will then see that they can, if you can make it through each month, then they're going to think that they can as well by overspending. So, right, but we're talking about good. Not good. Okay, true enough. But I think it's reality, though, then, because I'm sure there's good books that you could give your kids on. But I also think it's important that we model good things. So if you don't want your children to have spending problems, then if you are living month to month, or you have a lot of expenses, then modeling to them that you're not going to spend your money frivolously on Starbucks, or that you're not going to spend your money on things that are expensive and all that kind of stuff. And that's an important lesson to learn too, but that's like a whole nother conversation with Susie Orman. Oh, I love her. Yes. Then you need to watch Susie Orman. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so that's finances and taxes. Somebody gave me that as a suggestion. Yes, and then the other suggestion that I got, which was kind of the last one, was the other part of going off to university and college, or even high school isn't too early. And that was talking about parties. and drinking and sex and drugs. And so I did a little paragraph on that as well. And are you having conversations with your kids about all of these things? Are you talking, again, as a feminist, are you talking to your daughters about their sexual health being in their control and that it's up to them to keep themselves safe? And so what are they doing? In regards to birth control, what are they doing in regards to protecting themselves against STIs, all of that sort of thing? Are you talking to them about when they start going out to parties, about open drinks? Again, not really reality when we were young, right? There wasn't really date rape, drugs. I never really worried about leaving my drink on a table to go to the washroom or anything like that. Yeah. That was not something that I had to think about. But that is a reality of what they have to think about, and that that they can't do that. We even know some women who, luckily nothing horrible has happened to them, but for sure they felt like if they had one drink somewhere that they felt way more drunk than one drink, intoxicated, and are pretty sure that someone put something into their drink. Do they know the importance about hanging out in a group? And that they have to look out for each other, and that someone has to be sober, and someone has to be, right? That was me, the sober girl. Same, right? Like I was the person that made sure that their friends stayed safe, that they got home safe, who's the designated driver, all of that kind of stuff. The other thing is about drugs, again, same when we were young, and pot was marijuana, smoking was really just marijuana, and that the reality of anything really horrible happening from that was not significant versus now the amount of drugs that are laced with something else, right? And I don't know about where you all live in which city, but fentanyl is a huge epidemic here in Vancouver, and the amount of things that are being laced with fentanyl and then causing death, like so many what they would have said were casual, was that such a casual drug user, was being laced with fentanyl and then having overdoses and shut the door and then or not. Same. Oh, sorry. Fentanyl being laced and that they can die. And like that's the reality, or become addicted, right? Like that it becomes more addictive behavior. And so these are all scary conversations to have, and you as a parent obviously have to educate yourself first, because if you don't know about any of these things. I think one of the benefits I had was working in high school and working around teenagers my whole life, that I feel like it's given me insight into what their lives are like and what's going on with them.
Partially why I keep doing this is because just to be around the kids, so I know what the latest and greatest is, right? Like that's how we're informed, where other parents don't have this kind of opportunity to be around lots of different age kids and know if their kid doesn't tell them themselves. Right. Yeah. And I think having the conversations that you just spoke about, they can start early. Like I already have all those conversations with my kids. Right. The going out, the drinking, because I feel like those things start to happen in high school. Oh, even sooner. Yeah. Right. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know, but I'm assuming. And so having those conversations so that they can then make good choices. Yeah. I remember when I was in high school, the first person I knew to lose their virginity was in grade 8. Yeah, and so I imagine it's younger now, but maybe not. But that was early. I was secretly hoping it was going the other way, that kids wouldn't do it at all. So I mean, that was the reality in my circle of friends, that somebody lost their virginity in grade 8, and so watching that and the fallout from that she went through, because there was fallout in regards to you were talked about at school. I'm sure, right? In different ways and all that kind of stuff. And drinking started for sure in high school, grade 8. For us, high school, junior high was grade 8. So I saw that all the time around me and what was going on. And so that's not too early to have those conversations. And then in elementary school as well, right? Depending on what school you go to and where you're at and all that kind of stuff are all conversations to have. Yeah, and I think it's helpful that the schools in our city, Lower Mainland, bring in Salima Noon to do the sex ed talk. Yeah. And it is important to start as young as kindergarten or younger about having the body talks and sex talks. And I know some parents don't agree because they think they don't want their kids to know about that quite yet. But again, I think the rule of thumb is child led, right? So if they're asking you a question, you answer it with age appropriate answers to them. Yeah. And then you wait and you use them as your cue. And so that's been my
the way that I've kind of done it. I was also a biology teacher, so to me, like language around body parts and things like that has never been an issue. Salima Noon is a local fantastic lady that comes around to schools and does talks, age-appropriate talks, starting from a young age. She's not necessarily talking about like all the things around sex when they're little, but she is talking about what it is, where babies come from, all that kind of stuff, but being very factual about it.
Right.
And so, I mean, I haven't had a sex talk with my children. Like I haven't sat down and said, okay, like it's been something again that's been ongoing through, and then I'll ask questions like I asked like, do you know what a condom is? Like I've asked those questions at random times where I catch them off guard and they kind of look at me and they're like, yeah, or like no, or like all ages. I ask the kids this stuff. And then I ask them to tell me what it is and what things are. And then I kind of feel them out. But again, I kind of do it lightheartedly and like just, you know, knowledge is power in my opinion. For sure. You can never know too much. I feel like more you know, the better off you are. And then you having your own rules in your family, or what it means to be a Silver, or what it means to be a Kennedy, and like how we act and how we behave and all that kind of stuff is part of it. But that was my 5th piece. So I hope you found that interesting and could find some nuggets in there of things that either you haven't chatted with your kids. Again, starting young, and thinking about all the things that you could get them to do, because kids are pretty competent.
Well, you find that. Sorry to interrupt you, but on like even on Facebook, that you'll see those what chores can a kid do at the age of 3, and then they'll like give samples for each age as they get older, and I look at it and I'm like, absolutely. And I think that we tend to think the kids aren't capable, and they will prove you wrong every time. Yeah,
in my world, it's because I'm a perfectionist a little bit. And so that's where it's hard, right? You ask them to do a chore, but then they don't really do it very well. And then you redo it. And then what are you teaching them? You're teaching them that they can't do it, so why should they do it anyways? And that for me is a really big lesson, is letting go of that. Because if we don't let them do it, and do it well for their age, like, or for the first time doing it, or whatever. Like if I ask them to load the dishwasher and they don't do it the way I would have done it, you know, is it because I didn't teach them how to do it? You know, and why my way is the right way versus their way. Because of the way mechanics of a dishwasher works and where the water comes from and all of that, then I can't expect them to do a good job of it. And however, if I redo it, then they're going to feel like a failure, and they're going to feel like, well, why should I do it anyways? You're just going to redo it anyways. So I'm just going to do a crappy, quick job next time you ask me, because I know you're going to do it anyways. And so that's a big lesson, both with children and with husbands or spouses. Let them do it, and then just let it do it.
And business partners.
Just let me do it, even though it's not the way you would want it.
No, the other way. You gave me a lesson on how to sweep one time, because I did not sweep the floor the way you liked it.
See, I'm a bit of a control freak. I'm still bitter about it.
It was. And I was at our first gym. So I was like,
that was a long time ago. I didn't know you very well then. I've loosened up a lot in my age.
I agree.
So again, having children will do that to you, right? We'll loosen you up and just let things happen and let things be the way that they are. And then so that was an idea. That was from Michelle gave me those ideas about drinking responsibly and how to do all that kind of stuff with kids. Like
Michelle who? Coach Michelle?
So that was good ideas. And then I had some other young moms talk about the finances and the cooking and how to not kill yourself with meat. Like how to cook chicken and beef, because do you ever teach your children like meat safety and all that kind of stuff? If they go away and they eat, they're not vegan, then they're going to eat chicken.
Everyone should become vegan and not have to worry about it.
Yeah, that's one option.
Okay,
well, we're up to our time, so our time is almost up here, because I don't want to make these longer than a half hour. Okay. So my next post, I have an idea, because today is my mom's birthday, and so it was going to be around grandparents. So stay tuned for that one, about grandparents in your kids' lives, and
that's a good conversation.
Because mine will be one take on it, again, because everybody comes from things from their own experiences, and so I'm going to write that one.
And I just lost my grandma, so she's my favorite. I shouldn't say that, but she was. So grandparents are good. So
I'm going to talk about that. Our parents' life in our children's lives, or I don't have any grandparents, but grandparents
that was
for
my
your children.
Last one.
So. Okay, great. Okay, so leave a comment, like, share, and don't forget to join us on
Look at
live.
our kids having fun.
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, see you next week. Have a good weekend.
Bye. Look there too.
Bye.
Okay, see you guys. Donnie. Ow, shit.
Did you break me out?
No, I have broken 2 off. I'm
Oh.
going tomorrow.
You didn't them tomorrow, is that what you said?
Yeah. Right on today.